Incorrect with Bill Maher, musician Debbie Boone, the Monkees, Micky Dolenz, from Veronica's Closet, Wallace Langham, and conservative activist Star Parker. And now, the star of Politically Incorrect, Bill Maher.
Thank you very much, folks. Well, thank you very much. Oh, that's very nice. Because this is our last live show here before we take our break. It's the last show before Christmas. And, of course, it's always nice to report a Christmas story. Today, a disgruntled postal worker in Milwaukee shot up the post office. Isn't that awful? But it is absolutely true. A disgruntled postal worker. How many times have we heard that? Three people were shot in the office. Another 15 were hospitalized with deja vu. Also on the non-Christmas scary front, the chief UN inspector over in Iraq says that Saddam Hussein is cooperating less now than before the crisis we went through. And the excuses are getting lame. They went to one factory where they thought they were making chemical weapons today, and they had a sign out there that said, "Closed due to a beheading in the family." What? But there is Christmas activity going on. The Clintons had Washington, D.C. school children to the White House. Doesn't that just make your heart sing? Well, it sounds good, but, you know, that's about the roughest school district in the country. That's a rough neighborhood they're getting these kids out of. And at one point, Hillary asked the kids about the spirit of Christmas. And one kid said, it's better to give than to score. But what a thrill for kids to get to go to the White House. One kid said it's the best 10 grand he ever spent. And they did a poll. They did a poll yesterday to find out what people thought of Santa Claus, political-wise. Listen to this. Most people said they thought Santa Claus was a Democrat. And that they also thought the Grinch who stole Christmas was a Republican. And as usual, the elves related a lot to Ross Perot. Okay, thanks for coming. It's all been satirized for your protection. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Okay, let us meet our panel. He plays Phil, the writer, on Larry Sanders, and Josh on Veronica's Closet. Wallace Langham, yes, sir. Wally, good to see you here. You know her and love her as the social policy consultant for the Coalition on Urban Renewal and Education, Star Parker. Star, how are you, baby?
Hi,
good to see you.
Oh, you too.
Thank you. He's an actor, singer, and songwriter, and one of the stars and directors of Pacific Blue and the Monkees. He played a character named Micky Dolenz. Micky Dolenz! Hey, the Mick. How are you, buddy? Good to see you.
Hello.
And finally, she is a multi-Grammy-winning singer, songwriter, and actress. Her new children's book is Nightlights, Miss Debbie Boone. How are you, hon? Good to see you here. Thank you. Okay. Well, today's the day one of the most long-awaited movies ever opens, Titanic. And it has got me thinking about women, not just because it was late and cost more than expected. No, I'm kidding. But I did want to see a preview of this movie. And by the way, I think it's just a terrific movie, an old-time kind of movie. But in the movie, you realize that there was a social contract going on in 1912 between men and women. Women were treated with great condescension. They were considered the weaker sex. They were absolutely not equal. They also got into the lifeboat first. That's the deal. That was the deal. Okay,
That
now...
was to make the ship lighter. It wouldn't sink.
Oh, no.
That's what I was told. Ballast.
Oh, gosh. Go to the revisionist education, see, that's... later.
But the question I'm asking is, now that we have revised this contract, and women are equal and cannot be treated, and of course should not be treated with condescension or considered the weaker sex, if a ship goes down, should they get in the lifeboat first?
Absolutely.
You still think they should?
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
Yeah, well, you want them to go first because they make great flotation devices, actually.
Oh, see now,
this is our Christmas show.
I know, but you know what? That's one of the flaws of the radical feminist movement, because the men have bought into that hook, line, and sinker. They don't open doors. They won't pay your check. They are going to let you die of flooding and going under in a ship because they want in first. This me first attitude that has gone through our society has not helped
who
us.
started that, young lady? Do you think we wanted to change the social contract? No.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. No, but that's... I know, but that's why I'm saying the feminists did, and they've done a disservice to women, because when you look at it, the survival of the fittest has not worked for our society, and if men start believing that women are totally equal in every aspect, you're going to have men jumping in that lifeboat first, and you're going to have them jumping first. See, someone's coming.
No, you never will. You never will have the men
Well, I
jump
don't know if that's so true.
Oh, yeah. You don't think it would be different today?
Are you kidding? Men are walking away from all their responsibilities these days. They figure, hey, we got no fault divorce now. We don't have to take care of our kids. We don't have to do anything anymore because you women can do it yourself.
In a life or death situation, it's easy to talk about, but it's not something you can legislate or moralize about, because it's a biological function. It has to do with kin selection, survival of the species. And in a life or death situation, I promise you that males will always protect a female, whether they like it or not.
Well, see, but I don't know if that's so true. Wait a minute. I don't know. We might say that and we might think that, and we haven't really had a national emergency to test it, but when you start looking at our social envivrment, I work in welfare policy, and I tell you, a lot of men are walking away from a big responsibility.
Honey, we're talking about the Titanic. So just
We're not talking every
hand the
day.
welfare.
We're just talking about...
Hey. Just put it in park. But you're saying that this is biological, that men would let the women go first? I think this is social. This is something they learned. And in 1912, I mean, I have statistics here that back up what happened on the Titanic. I mean, really, they did let the women go. There was a lot more men on the... 80% of the men died, 30% of the women died on the Titanic.
Yeah.
Okay, they were conditioned to, hey, nobody questioned that. This ship is going down, the women get on the boat first. But that's because back...
What I'm saying is that the driving force below and behind all that, the C:\\, the operating system, is the imperative to keep the DNA of the species.
You do understand that
The DNA, where you...
No, because it's called, it's hypertropic is the term that's used. It's hypertropic, and
It's
it means...
the man.
No, I promise you
I
that
would tell you, a whole lot of
males...
liberals are going to get mad at you, because what you're saying is it's instinct for a man just to say, okay,
Right,
here's the
and it's not
males.
instinct.
I know.
That's something you have to learn. Everybody, every human's instinct is to save your own ass first. There's no biological instinct to let the woman...
A mother will not protect a child.
But also in 1912, women were second-class citizens. So it goes against the grain that men would put them first in a life or death situation.
Second class.
So you're right, it is a learned behavior.
It is a learned behavior.
It's a learned behavior. And yes, biologically.
And you keep on, and your point about the kids, you keep on the way we're going. Sooner or later, you're going to have parents saying, forget the kids, I'm out here. I'm out of here. You fend for yourself.
That's saying that a mother will not defend and protect her children?
I think that what happens...
Is that inherited or learned?
Well, it's
I think
learned.
it's a God-given instinct, and I think that's true of
Yes.
But that's different. A child is different than a partner.
See, I don't know.
No, it's not the partner. It's the DNA. It's the selection for the DNA. It's why we protect our loved ones. And they don't just have to be your children.
Well, let's tell that to OJ.
I didn't say that.
I got to take a break. We'll come back.
Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher, brought to you by Sears.
There's no one.
If you're planning to be in the Los Angeles area and would like free tickets to Politically Incorrect, call 213-852-2655.
All All right, since this is our last show of the year, taped. I said live in the monologue. We're not actually live, but I mean, this show goes on tonight. After this, you'll have repeats until January 5th.
Sorry.
No.
I'm sorry, Bill. That was not the deal. Oh.
But I thought, now, we used to give away, we have several times this year, our Get Over Yourself award for people that we thought had too big egos. But since this is Christmas, our last show, I want to list some people who I think should get a fruit basket. I don't actually have a fruit basket because this network is broke. But if we could afford a fruit basket, we would send one. And you can argue with me about some of these people, but these are my heroes for the year. Number 1, Ted Kaczynski's brother.
Oh, yeah, he's a good hero.
Yeah.
You think so?
Now there's a guy that turned in his own
Turned
for the better of the
Yes.
the species of the race.
Because he put right and wrong ahead of things that people put a lot of stuff ahead of right or wrong, including, and nothing should be, not religion, not your country, not your friendship, not your family. You agree? Does any of
I
those
wish
things?
I had had that kind of courage, and I could have turned my dad in before he showed up on the American Music Awards. But I didn't.
And you recorded "You Light Up My Lifeboat" on the Titanic, which I know. Janet Reno has my vote for Man of the Year because she... No, I mean... Well, that's... I didn't mean that. Time magazine.
Wait a minute.
Well, she's got a big package.
Wait a minute now. That is a mixed message. Okay, Ted's brother for turning in his brother. Janet Reno, she didn't turn in the president. I don't understand.
But why should she have turned in the president?
Why
That's the
should
point.
she? I mean, you're talking
She
about
stood
a
up to-
criminal.
A criminal?
A criminal.
What is criminal?
Oh, now you want the laundry list? Come on, Bill. Let's
please.
at least look into some investigations
Naming
here. In
a dog,
particular,
buddy.
the last one.
That's pretty bad.
Okay.
All right, that's just
Letting
kind of mixed
Chelsea wear all
there.
that nail polish.
Janet Reno, I don't know if she would turn in her brother. She wanted
Well,
to turn
I
in
also want
somebody
to give a
unrelated.
fruit basket to Bill Clinton because no man with nuclear weapons has ever taken this much crap this gracefully. No?
Yeah. I'll go with that.
Okay. There's a guy named Charles Feeney. I bet you nobody ever heard of him. He gave away $610 million. He was proud to be dropped from Forbes' list because he had given away so much money. And
Who?
Yeah, what did he give it
Who
for?
did he give it to?
Like to people
he gave it to Ted Turner, which I think...
I was about to say, because if he gave it to somebody like that
gave
or
it-
did that same
Well,
type of thing
he
to
gave it
support
to
the
Ted
UN, then I wouldn't
Here's
be
a
so proud
rich
of that.
guy who said, you know what, instead of just acquiring more stuff, I'm going to give it away and just live a normal life. I mean, that's...
an idiot.
wrong with that. I can't wait to be rich so I can do
No,
that.
that's good. In fact,
Yeah, but rich people don't. I mean, how much has Bill Gates given away? He's worth $40 billion. He gave away $200 million
but
to
you know what?
libraries
See,
to put in
but you know
computers.
what? See, that's the problem with some people. They have this liberal mindset. He's given away his ideas to the point where he has created a mega industry to where people have employment. I mean, my goodness, how much more can you provide for a society? He has provided entire industry that now people have enough that they can give away. They can go into and have a decent family. Well, it's true. I mean,
Shut
my goodness.
up.
All right, forget it. Never mind. You keep your heroes to yourself.
He has $40 billion, and he gave away $200 million to libraries to put in computers, which is self-serving
All
to
right,
begin
how about
with.
this as an answer? That's what's wrong with excessive taxation.
Turner gave
he
away
feels
$1
like
billion.
He gave it the office. That's the problem.
George Soros.
Yeah, but look what he gave it to.
Gave
Ted
away-
Turner.
He gave it to the UN.
I know.
That's bad?
That's so bad.
Well, who better deserves it? The UN?
Then the
Is that a good
UN?
cause?
How
Ted
about,
Kaczynski's brother.
why doesn't he give it to the give it to the federal government so that they'll reduce our taxes, okay? Then you can give to the average guy instead of the UN who has taken away our sovereignty. Come on, we're teaming up with these commies and stuff. What's the matter with you? Yeah, I mean, connect the dots, put it all together. Never mind, I'm just gonna do what you said. I'm gonna shut up. Let them talk. Let them talk about your heroes. Your little icon.
I want you for emperor.
Jody, it is.
Oh, you think
I want you for emperor. Yeah.
Don't look at me that way. Go ahead with your list. I'm
Who
sorry.
are you hanging out with? Is what I want to know.
I love you, Osvaldo.
Sorry.
Okay. We'll finish the list, but I have to take a commercial. We're a little bit.
I'm the road to Canterbury.
Welcome back to our Christmas show. I'm giving away my fruit baskets. I left off here. Now, President Fujimori of Peru. You probably like him. He's a bit of a fascist. And I understand. I understand he's no poster boy for democracy. But do you remember when that embassy in Peru was taken over by terrorists, and he waited until they were stupid enough to take a break, and then he kicked their soccer-playing asses to Kingdom Come.
Yeah, I got it.
That's
yeah,
a
you're right.
fruit basket. Okay. The Rolling Stones.
Right on.
Yes, because they take all these age jokes. Mickey, I'm sure you can relate to this. No, right? I mean, they do the same thing about the Monkees.
I know. Take the last.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
But they
One
give.
more time.
Now, you're a single man, right?
Yes.
Okay. To any single man over 40, whether you're a divorced dad or whatever, I think they give a lot of hope that
That you two can again be a stud at some point.
that chicks they still throw their panties at them. I'm sorry, they're my hero.
No,
Hey,
it's
if Tom
depends
Jones
now.
could get
They
away
throw
with it.
depends.
Nick! Oh, honey, baby! Oh, give it to me, big boy!
Well, do you know that? Do you know that they want to rate?
Knocking back and sure.
Oh, yeah.
They want to rate concerts now, just the way they put advisories on albums and on movies. They want to rate the actual concerts themselves because they say people like Marilyn Manson do things on stage.
It's Tipper Gore.
What would you do? How would you rate?
Arts and crafts for Tipper
Who
Gore.
doesn't know that, though? I mean, why do you need a rating? I know what you're going to get when you go to a Marilyn Manson concert. I don't need
But the
somebody
parents
to tell
don't.
me.
That's
Why
what they're
don't
saying.
they, though? Why don't
Exactly.
they know?
Yeah.
That's the thing, is why aren't they listening to some of the things their kids are listening
Right.
to?
That's a good point. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But how would you
I
rate
don't
it?
know, because maybe ratings aren't only for children or for parents of children.
Kids aren't
I
gonna
would
read
like
that.
some
It's not
things
for
rated,
children.
you know?
I mean,
There,
yeah.
because
A concert, but a concert.
well, yeah, especially for somebody that you've never heard of. If you're going somewhere and you say, well, maybe I should just go check this out. And there are those of us in our society who like to guard what we hear. And, you know,
And that's usually the people over 18 going to do this. I mean, this is purely for parents of children.
well, not necessarily. I thought it was the industry attempting to police themselves. And in this lack of discretion environment, perhaps they do need to police themselves. Because otherwise you're going to have the government policing them. And I don't think we want to do
censor
that.
information, and you can't do
Well,
that.
it's not a censorship of information.
just-
Censorship is when government steps in and says, forget it. We are not going to allow that out anymore. But I think the fair warning, I mean, for instance, Bill,
As for
I went
spitting.
to when you were down in San Juan Cap near my house, and I would have not let my 17-year-old go there, and there was no rating. I wouldn't have known because I
What
would
are you
allow her to
talking
watch
about,
this.
San Juan?
Remember, just recently you were in San Juan
You
Cap.
talking about my show?
Yeah, not the show. Yeah.
My stand-up.
Yeah, that thing was a little risque. I only knew you from.
Did you say something dirty?
It was a
You're
lot
saying my
different.
stand-up show
Well, it was a lot different
should have a
from
rating?
politically incorrect. Okay, if I had known that
Oh, parts
you
of it are
do
just
more
plain
than
dirty.
this.
But I mean,
Well,
you're
see, I
saying
didn't
my
know.
show was unfit for you have a 17-year-old.
No, it was unfit for me. I had to go and buy a bar of soap and wash my ears out.
You know, I kind
Oh,
of...
no offense now. It's just not what I'm accustomed to, Bill. I knew you from politically
Well.
incorrect. A little bit different.
There's one black
there are-
person on the panel, and I'm glad
Oh,
it's me.
no.
Girl, you have got to...
No, Bill, now, come on. Don't you think that I have a right to know what I'm going to be hearing?
I can't believe you're saying that my stand-up show
No, Bill, no.
is too dirty for your pristine ears.
Yes! Some people, wait, don't I have a right to guard what I hear too? And I do. I like to know what I'm going to expose myself to. And after...
Okay, after take a break, we're going to find out what you're going to expose yourself to.
The adventure is bigger. The danger is closer than ever before. A Steven Spielberg film. Don't let the perfect holiday gift escape you. Capture the Lost World, Jurassic Park on video cassette.
a good lawyer has to be bad.
Ist wer?
Honor Symphony, where the 60s and 70s come alive.
People all over the world, join hands.
Loud and shiny, explosive, with terrific songs.
Everybody, join hands.
It's got audiences coming back a third and fourth time.
Join us Monday when our guests will be Terry Jeffrey, Dick Wolf, Leah Thompson, and Joan Rivers.
All right, we're talking about censorship in music. There is a controversy apropos to this that happened just yesterday. There's a record out called Smack My Bitch Up by Prodigy. I happen to have the record. I like the group. Okay. Now,
Do you like the record?
I do. I like Prodigy, yeah.
That
And I like
particular record?
I like
yeah.
AOL.
Yeah?
But now, yesterday, Gloria Steinem and Betty Friedan, two of the great pioneers of the feminism movement, I'd love to see what they would do on the Titanic.
Kick the out of every man to get to the lifeboat.
Well, that's an opinion. But they protested this song. Now, Smack My Bitch Up, I agree. It's not exactly Last Train to Clarksville as a title.
That was the original lyric of Last Train. Like the last bitch to Clarksville. That's.
But first of all, from what I understand, it doesn't really refer to anything having to do with, like, abusing a woman. It's a phrase meaning, basically, intensity. If you want to do something intensely, you smack your bitch up. Now, that's...
You're watching ABC.
You think you'd like this Sprint PCS